Hi, and welcome back to the Pain and Stress module of the Injury Healing Code. So this next step, in order for us to master our pain and tension, is to understand how our physiology and our emotions are connected. And so in order for us to do this, we're going to go through a nice, quick, easy experiment with me in front of the computer now. So if you're not already, I want you to make sure that you are sitting in front of your screen, and we're going to go through this quick activity together. Okay, so as we're sitting, I want you all just to slump ourselves back in our chair. Okay, I've tucked under my pelvis, I've rounded my back, I've dropped my shoulders, I've caved in my chest, I've let my head poke forward, sort of letting my cheeks and my mouth drop, letting my eyes drop and sag, sort of feeling that almost my heart and my chest sort of just drop or sink. My breathing's fairly shallow. And in this state and this posture here, I want you to start to feel into your body. Okay, so what do you feel? What do you notice in your body? Do you feel any tension anywhere? Do you feel any muscle tightness or pulling or dragging? Do you feel compression at any joints? What do you notice in your neck, your back, your chest? Okay, so what do you feel? Okay, and now, so still in this posture, I want you to now identify what emotion you're feeling. Is there an emotion, even maybe a state, a memory, anything that comes to mind? Because I know in this posture, I feel a lower state. I feel a bit tired, a bit down, a bit over it. I could be depressed. I could be overwhelmed, just want to give up. I could just be sad. Okay, but generally, whatever the emotion is, it's generally a lower state emotion. I notice even my voice. It's a little bit slower than usual, a little bit lower tone, a little bit more monotone, so a little bit flatter. Okay, so it doesn't matter what emotion you feel, but generally speaking, this posture is linked to a lower state emotion. And now, I want you to change your posture for me. So we're going to get our bottom back in our chair. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to feel like we've got a string that's pulling us tall, lengthening, elongating us through the back of the spine. My chest opens, okay, but my shoulders feel soft, okay? My heart and chest feels a little bit more expansive and full. I'm letting go of any tension in my tummy. I'm breathing easier. I'm breathing deeper. I feel a little bit more sort of, mobile and bouncy in my chair. I've got this big grin on my face. So if you're not smiling already with me, let's put a big cheesy grin on our face. Let's feel our cheeks tighten. Let's feel the little squint marks under our eyes. Okay, make that big smile with me. Okay, and now feel into your body again. So what do you feel? What do you notice that's different here? Notice how you feel freer, easier. Okay, there's not any tension in our body. You might have tension in your cheeks and your eyes from smiling, but you don't have that same physical tension in your body. Okay, you feel easier. You feel a little bit more lighter, energetic. You can breathe easier. And again, paying attention to my voice at the moment, I can certainly hear that I'm talking quicker. My tone certainly increased. There's a lot more variation in my tone, so a lot more of the ups and the downs and the expressions that I'm using. Okay, and generally I feel good. And so this posture instantaneously is linked with the higher energy state. Okay, so whether this is happiness, laughter, or creativity or flow or calm, or sort of excitement or whatever it is, notice that these more upright, sort of buoyant, sort of happy, smiley sort of postures, they're linked with a higher emotional state. And then so just as an alternative from here, okay, we're going to go into a state of whether it's stress or frustration or anger. Okay, and I want you to feel this in your body. Okay, so in this state, you might feel a little bit more tense in the shoulders. Okay, you might even notice like microscopic sort of tension in your fingers. You might feel that you're slightly clenching your jaw. There's a little bit of tension between your brows. You're probably slightly feeling again in that state of stress that your chin slightly pokes forward and creates a little bit of tension at the back of your neck. Okay. So just feel again how this feels in your body. How common does this posture, does this state feel to you? Okay, and then we're going to come out of it and we're going to come back to our playful, happy, joyful, free, moving posture again. Let's stay here in these happy states. Okay, and so this is fascinating stuff and powerful as well because it brings back the control to you. So if you've got this awareness within your body to pick up on how your posture is influencing your emotional state, that's an amazing tool that you can then use to try and shift your emotional state. Okay, so you might find that you catch yourself before even being aware that you're sad or you're tired or overwhelmed. You might find that you physically catch yourself down here. Okay, and so if you can tune into that posture before the emotional state builds too significantly, that is a really quick, easy transition to change our posture and get moving, okay, and shift your state quite quickly. Okay, so the more awareness we have over our posture and how this integrates with our emotions, the more power we have to shift these emotional states and to shift our physiology and shift any physical tension within our body. Okay. The interesting thing is, though, it also works in reverse. Okay, so with the emotional state, so if I was to recall a past memory of something that was sad, okay, a time when I felt sad, disappointed, maybe in myself or disappointed in someone else, okay, straight away that memory is going to link directly into my physical body and my physiology. Okay, and so again, whether we can identify first the posture in order to shift what we're then feeling or thinking about, okay, or whether we can catch ourselves thinking about the thought or the memory or notice what emotion we're feeling at any given time, okay, we can then use that emotional intelligence, that emotional awareness to then understand, hey, I'm feeling, stressed or angry or sad and overwhelmed. This is probably going to have an impact on my posture. So let's do something about it. Okay. So I do want us all to download our workbooks very shortly. And so in our workbooks, it's broken down quite simply. It's a really nice, quick, easy workbook to work through. And I've got some images there for you. So the first page of images is on some lower state postures. So I want you to do a combination of looking at these images and look at what they all have in common. So what body changes, what physiological changes do each of these images have in common? And then I want you also to go into that state. Okay, so find a lower state emotion. Think about something just very short term that brings you into a lower state emotion, and write down physically what you notice in your body. Okay. And then you are going to do the exact same thing for a higher state emotion. So you are going to look at the images there of people who are in higher state emotions and identify what they all have in common. You're then going to recall a time when you felt happy. Okay. And you're going to write down what you feel in your body. Okay, so using a combination of what you notice in others in these images, as well as what you feel yourself in your body, and you are going to write these down. I then want us also to then come up with some other strategies. Okay, so if we've got good emotional awareness, okay, and good body awareness, we can use this as quite a convenient tool to pick up on the early signs of physical tension or the early signs of emotional tension, and we can shift these. But while we're still learning to identify with our body and learning to understand the messages that our body's giving us, sometimes these messages can, go unheard for a while. It's quite normal for us not to be able to pick up on the early signals of these emotions and these postures that come in. So don't be alarmed if you find that you miss all the early signals that your body has been trying to communicate with you, and all of a sudden you feel that you only can recognize it when you've got this huge amount of tension that you've created in your jaw or your neck, and you're sitting there like this for a while and you're feeling really stressed and overwhelmed, and you've caught it at that later stage. Okay, that's completely normal. Okay, so when we're learning to do this, learning to have more emotional awareness as well as physical awareness, it takes practice. But the pure fact that we're going through this now and we're bringing our attention to it and creating more awareness around it, that already means that this is going to start to slowly filter in into our life and into our daily strategies and emotional awareness. And like anything, okay, with practice, this is only going to get easier. And you're only going to be able to have implement these strategies a lot earlier and be much more successful with these strategies. But on the occurrences where we don't catch ourselves early enough and something has built over a period of time, it is also really important that we have some other strategies up our sleeve. And so in this case, sometimes we need to do more than change our posture, okay, or more than change our thoughts. Sometimes we need a change in surrounds. Okay, you need to get outside, you need to, go for a walk, you need to move, you need to get some fresh air. Whether that might be just sitting in nature and listening to the birds, or feeling the breeze on your face and becoming more present. Okay? Or whether it's getting out there, walking the dog, or going for a run and hitting the pavement, getting out there on your bike, getting moving, doing something. Okay? It could be putting on music, it could be singing, it could be dancing, it could be just shifting that energy state, okay? The state of whatever you were doing. Okay? It could be moving or leaving your office, turning off your computer and just saying that's enough for today. Opening up the blinds, letting some fresh air in, opening the windows, calling a friend for a chat that makes you laugh. Or if you're feeling angry or frustrated, maybe you have to scream at the top of your lungs. Okay, let it out. And then laugh at yourself after and feel like you've made a fool of yourself. But that's good. It's all about being able to shift the tension, okay, or shift your emotional state. Okay, and so on the final page of this handout, I'm going to get you to try and come up with some strategies that might work for you. Okay, when you're in whatever state it is, what are some things that you love to do that might help to shift your state? Okay, so off you go. Let's download this workbook now and we're going to work through. As I said, it's not a long one, but it is a very, very useful one to go through. And there are some incredible strategies in here that we are now uncovering.